More than 120,000 new ballots have been counted in the LA mayor's race, and Nithya Raman has edged ahead of Spencer Pratt for second place. About 368,000 ballots remain outstanding. The race heating up and drawing scrutiny. Nithya Raman and Spencer Pratt now neck and neck. Raman for the first time with a slight lead.
Yep, we back, y'all. And we were going to move from California to another state today, but the more we looked at the paperwork, the more we realized we had to stay right here on the West Coast. If y'all been paying attention or watching my other videos, you know we started in New York, dipped down into the Florida meat grinder, and took you into the belly of the beast in California. We were ready to leave to talk about another demon rat mess in the South, but something is going on in Cali that's so greasy, so blatantly crooked that we had to keep the cameras rolling. It ain't nothing but a 4-day stall that turned into a weeks-long political game. They out there in California running an extended election month, letting late mail-in ballots flood the system way after election night is come and gone. Look at the technical detail keeping these career politicians in power. It's California's extended mail-in ballot rules, and they are finally being challenged in a Mississippi case that the U.S. Supreme Court is ready to strike down. Federal Attorney Bill LaSalle put it out there plain as day. The California DOJ is actively blocking voter roll reviews while letting folks use things like utility bills, credit cards, and prescription labels for ID. Ha! Can you believe that? You need more ID to get a Costco membership than you do to pick the governor of California. They even allow ballots to be mailed to UPS stores and porta-potties. We not joking, y'all. Porta-potties? Come on, man. Someone is literally voting from a plastic toilet while the establishment tells us there's no proof of fraud. On election night, local outcomes showed some crazy margins that the late drops managed to fix real quick. In the LA mayor's race, Karen Bass was on top, reality star Spencer Pratt was solid in second, and Nithya Raman was at the bottom, ready to pack her bag.
Thank you.
Her speech sounding almost like a concession.
Everything every person in this room is fighting for in this campaign has been about building a city that's worthy of you and every child in this city.
But then, those unverified late ballot drops swung through the room like a ghost in the night, pushing Raman past Pratt by a slim 3,113 votes to force a runoff. Now, for anybody who don't know, a runoff is just a second winner-take-all election. They use it when nobody hits the required percentage on the first round. It's the ultimate moving target, y'all. It buys them extra time to reset the board, find more porta-potty votes, and neutralize the outsider energy. The same mess is happening in the governor's race, where Steve Hilton's big lead over Tom Steyer is getting eaten up by late-arriving ballots every single hour. It's a rhythmic heist. The way that Meet the Press interview went down tells you everything you need to know about how the media handles Donald Trump when he starts digging into the actual paperwork.
The election was rigged. It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's happening again right now in California.
You've never presented evidence.
It's happening
the
right now in California.
Right
now, it's look at what's happening in California.
Where's the evidence to that?
It's
the
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days. And they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why
votes
they're doing
in
that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election, and 5 days later, they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be.
Y'all see how and hear how Kristen Welker just kept cutting President Trump off. We ain't counting, but it was about 10 times. At least 10 times, y'all. Come on, man. Who does that? Who interrupts a former president that many times when he's bringing the receipts? Somebody drop in the comment fake news right now, while all she really wanted was that pre-programmed line talking about there's no proof of that, and that choreographed Letitia James mouth movement blurting out baseless.
Counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Well, you play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about, I want to talk about Todd
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about...
elections
You
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC, and CBS, and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits, because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please, I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat
I traveled
in the rain with
all
you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Trump was too nice to her, in my opinion. He should have not only done a mic drop on her, but he should have thrown that mic in the trash where the rest of their scripts belong. Instead, he called out the network for playing dumb, told her he'd given them enough time sitting out there in that metal barn in the rain, took off his mic and walked. Whoa! It wasn't just a walkout, it was a total refusal to let the press clean up and cover for a broken timeline after he went off about it being a third world setup. Look at the numbers on the ground before the magic happened. When the polls closed, things looked locked in. People voted, and the results showed Spencer Pratt holding down that second spot and Steve Hilton sitting on a nice cushion for governor. But then the clock ticks and days turn into weeks, and suddenly the boxes start rolling in from parts unknown. This ain't about checking the people's will, it's about moving the goalposts after the game is done. They're using these extended windows to drown out the legal votes that were cast on time, turning a straight-up community process into a long, drawn-out mess of unverified paper. They think we too stupid to see the pattern, but the political detox family is wide awake. Hold up, y'all, real quick before we keep rolling through the numbers. We are pushing hard right now to hit that 400 subscriber milestone. If you are feeling this raw street-level breakdown and you want the real receipts the media tries to hide, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, and help us clear that 400 sub mark today. You know the algorithm hates us because we don't follow the script. Your subscription is the only way we keep the lights on and the truth flowing. Go ahead, hit it now. I'll wait.
A few moments later.
Okay, let's get back into the kitchen where they're cooking these books. Now, when we talk about a groundswell, we're talking about what happens when an outsider candidate or a grassroots movement completely leaves the standard political playbook. You had Spencer Pratt, a complete political newcomer using viral digital strategies, holding down a solid second place on election night, threatening to force a runoff with Karen Bass. You had Steve Hilton sitting on a massive lead for governor, consolidating the populist vote. That is a real groundswell. It's a sudden, organic surge from the street level that the establishment never saw coming. The party leadership and the city council can't control it with standard advertising because the people are simply fed up with the high prices and the low integrity. So when that unpredictable energy threatens to break their grip on power, the system has to react. That's exactly why the timeline stretches out, the rules get bent, and suddenly unverified late drops start magically closing the exact gaps needed to slow that push down. It happens every single time an outsider gets too close to the sun. What makes this situation even worse is how the verification standards have completely fallen apart. Bill LaSalle put it out there plain as day. The state's Justice Department is actively blocking anyone from checking the voter rolls while letting people register with things like utility bills, credit cards, and prescription labels. How are you supposed to keep the ballot honest when the security is lower than getting a library card? That's why the Supreme Court is stepping in, because when you stretch the rules that far, the whole system snaps. The media wants to play it off like it's standard procedure, telling everybody to just sit tight and trust the machines. Ha! They want you to look away from those sudden late-night surges that magically close gaps by exactly the numbers needed to trigger runoffs and flip elections. When Trump calls it out and walks away from the mic because the press won't ask the hard questions about who's actually voting, you know the official story don't match the street reality. It's a visual shield, y'all. They show you a polished reporter while a porta-potty ballots are being counted in the back room. They want you to believe things like utility bills or valid ID to flip an entire city council race days after the polls close. The city council is panicking because the Supreme Court is looking directly at the receipts. This is about keeping the public in the dark while the paperwork gets shuffled behind closed doors to deliver the desired result. The numbers don't lie, but the timeline...
Straighten out your press, because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be great
traveled
with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
They are caught in a compliance trap of their own making, and the nice era of clean enforcement is about to blow the whistle on the whole operation. When an unexpected wave breaks straight through the establishment's defense, the entire operation is forced to show its hand to slow down that organic street-level energy. If you want to see exactly how we track this same pattern from the very beginning, make sure you go back and watch the videos pinned above where we break down the entire coast-to-coast setup from New York to Florida. We are naming names, pulling records, and performing the political detox this country needs. Stay awake, stay alert, and keep your eyes on that board. The 2026 landslide is being built on the truth, and no amount of late-night magic can stop what's coming. Now y'all see why them Democrats are panicking. Say it with me. It's a beautiful, beautiful sight.